What's going on, guys? So it is an absolutely beautiful day outside today. Finally got some rain, which we haven't had for a while down here, and I figured I would talk to you all about a topic that is kind of sad, but at the same time it wasn't unexpected. And this is related to another YouTube channel that I follow. I've followed for a long time, and I'm fortunate enough to say that I've actually met the producer of this YouTube channel and just watched his The End video, which is him retiring from YouTube. And I can't honestly say I blame him, but let's talk about some of the things that sometimes I guess some folks may not think about before they embark on this journey of creating content on YouTube, as well as, you know, some of the things that you think about as you've been doing this for a long time and you start to try to weigh the toll it might take on you, or some of the challenges that you might have to overcome during that journey, as well as, you know, what's the end look like. Hang tight, I'll be right back. So we're inside of the Surveyor right now, just having a conversation. And, you know, I think that the more I wrap my mind around a big channel like Demolition Ranch, Off the Ranch, and Matt Carricker, who has been doing this for a long time, the more I wrap my mind around him calling it quits and retiring, the more you think about it from a creator perspective. What does your end game look like? What does your end goal look like? Is this a career for you and then you retire like any other job? And when you do, what does that retirement look like? So the reason why I'm making this video is because, you know, as I started to kind of ponder what Matt was doing with his channel and how he was kind of exiting it, I started to think about that for myself. What would that plan look like eventually? I'm not ready to retire. I'm not ready to exit. Part of my plan isn't what I think a lot of people would think. It's not to make as much money as possible and then get out of it with this nest egg that I can live off of. I have a job for that already. And from a savings perspective, from what I'm able to do from a retirement aspect to ensure that I'm taking care of my family after I leave that job and after I get out of YouTube, I've been planning that for decades. That's not something that I take lightly, and it's something that I've put a lot of thought into. So YouTube for me has served many, many goals. First of all, one, it's helped me in a very profound way from I don't know how to put this the right way for some folks, but if anybody has ever struggled with self-worth or self-value issues, YouTube is a platform that might help you, and it certainly helped me. I struggled a lot over my youth with finding value in myself, finding that I'm actually worth something, that the things that I talk about actually matter. For me, YouTube has been a platform that's allowed me to express myself, share things that I'm passionate about, and talk about things that mean something to me, but I've also found actually mean something to other people, whether or not they agree or whether or not they support what I say. Just the fact that it matters to other people is important to me. And that's one of the reasons why I can do the videos that I do with the passion that I do it, because it's not just creating content for the sake of creating content. There are so many folks out there who I know personally who have reached out and said, I would love to start a YouTube channel, or my child's dream is to start a YouTube channel. I have a lot of family members and friends who say, you know what, I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel. What would you suggest? And the first thing I probably tell them is I would suggest finding something you're passionate about and seeing if you're able to create content on that passion. And if they can't think of anything that they're truly passionate about, the content's not going to come. It's not going to flow. They'll be faking it. They'll be pushing something that they think is popular, or something that they think is viral at that moment, or something that they think is flooding social media with views, and they'll try to create content in a forced way. And I love how Matt articulated this in his last video. You can do that possibly for a while, but it's not sustainable, because if you lose the passion, or if you've never had the passion for what you're talking about, people will realize that very quickly. They'll realize that you're faking it. Now, to be clear and honest, there are days when even people who have a passion for something like I do, we're empty. We're out of fuel. We don't feel it, but we still have to create it. So, sometimes when I'm walking around RV shows and I'm trying to film content on RV floor plans, I'm tired. I've walked around all day. My feet are killing me. It's burning hot outside. I'm sweating my butt off. But because I know that I owe it to my viewers to present in a positive, energetic way, I will try to muster and pull the energy I need to make it through the next RV review and to still deliver it in the same way that I would deliver any other RV review. Same with truck reviews, same with just about anything. And I think anybody who creates a lot of content, especially if you post content every single day, or in some cases multiple times a day, would agree that sometimes you're just empty on fuel. And a coffee, an energy drink's not going to do it. You're burnt out and you want to go back to the hotel. You want to go home. You just want to crash because you've been filming, editing, taking retake after retake after retake after retake because you're struggling through what to say or how to say it clearly. You're going through this process and you're finding out that it's a lot tougher than you think on days that you just don't have the energy. But again, it's not fair to my viewers. It's not fair to people watching my content for me to have less passion just because I'm tired in one video than another, because that less passion, that less energy, if I don't bring that to all the content I shoot, then it's not fair if you're looking at a floor plan and you can see that in me. You can see that, man, he's tired, or maybe he hates that floor plan because of how he's talking and how he's acting. So I have to muster the energy I need in some cases when I'm 20 RVs deep into a RV show and I'm tired and I see one that I like and I'm like, man, I got to film that, but I have to film it the way that I film every other one, because if I don't, it's going to show bias, and I don't want to show bias. So that's just something that was interesting when I was listening to Matt's video, and he was talking about, how you have to have passion. You really do. Nothing about being a YouTuber with a relatively sizable audience is easy when it comes to content anymore. When you first start off on YouTube, it's really just about getting content out there, talking about stuff, just creating content and publishing it. Everyone has cameras these days. You can film, you can upload to the internet, and there's no problem at all. Where things start to become more difficult is when you have to create content that meets a standard that you've been previously meeting. Basically, if I do a review on something, I need to be sure that the next thing I do a review on is done in that same fashion, because again, I don't want to show bias. I don't want to show that I'm reviewing something differently just because I might not be feeling the same way, or just because I'm not in the mood. So I hope that makes sense. When it comes to creating the type of content that I create, one thing I love about it is the vast majority of people I feel that watch my content are relatively educated in terms of what they're seeing. They go into it with this idea that they are here to either learn something, to enhance their knowledge on something, or to discredit and disprove something. And if that's you, I don't mind whichever category you fall into, because at the end of the day, it shows intelligence. If you're coming to my channel to say what you're saying is not accurate, and you're thinking about why it's not accurate, and you're commenting on why you don't think what I said is accurate, you're still thinking. You're still processing things. It's a conversation, and it's almost a dialogue. It's the ability for you to capture the information you're hearing, process it, and say, you know what, even though it might make sense to you, it doesn't make sense to me, so I'm going to post this, I'm going to comment about it, I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are. So I've never had any issue with people who are naysayers, with people who are critical against things that I say, because they either have more knowledge, or they have experienced things that I haven't experienced, or they simply don't feel as if it passes their muster, if it passes their review of whatever I'm talking about. Now, that doesn't mean we're we're going to agree on things in the end. It doesn't mean that what you're telling me is automatically going to make me believe that you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong. What it's going to do is it's going to also engage other people so they start thinking about things themselves. You know, when I was talking about towing lighter trailers with heavier duty trucks, there were a lot of folks who said, you know, that's hogwash, that you can do it all day long, that I've been doing that forever and I've never had an issue. But then there's a lot of people who commented and said that makes total sense, and that's actually something that I've experienced personally. So there are folks who may come in with this critical mentality of what you're saying might sound okay, but it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't sound right. It's not passing my muster. It's not passing my review process internally on if that's actually true. I don't believe, you know, a Ram 5500 truck is potentially going to cause a frame issue with my RV. But then you start seeing other comments from people saying that's exactly what happened. That's what happened to me. This is what happened to somebody else I knew. This is something I saw. And it might change your perspective on things to think, oh, wow, that might be something that could happen. And it is going to encourage me to think about it differently. Maybe even if you hate my channel and you're like, I don't care what you say, what you're saying is a lie, it's BS, it's not true, but then secretly you go out and you buy an air-safe hitch or a Gen Y hitch or a bulletproof hitch or a CURT or a shock or whatever. You go out and you buy the product because you just don't want to take the risk. Well, it's still accomplishing a goal of perhaps giving you a better experience. So again, I get passionate about the things I talk about because I truly like how it impacts the people who view my channel. I don't get passionate for the sake of self-recognition. I don't get passionate for the sake of just throwing content out because I'm trying to earn money off of YouTube. I get passionate because I love the fact that I have informed, educated viewers who watch my channel and hopefully leave with more information, or maybe even just different information than they originally came to my channel to see, or than they originally thought. Now, again, sometimes it spurs dialogue. Sometimes it creates, I hate to say it, it creates negativity. Overwhelmingly, though, I think it actually creates a positive reaction. It creates people thinking about things, even if, again, they put in the comment section something totally contradictory to that, but then they leave going, well, maybe there was something to that. So, again, I'm going to be doing this as long as I can do it, as long as I stay passionate about it overall. If I can keep doing this and I can affect industry change, I can help create new innovative solutions, I can give you honest, credible reviews that stand to the integrity I hold my channel to continuously. If I can continue to do those things, then that's what matters. You know, some people ask me sometimes, like, why don't all your videos get the same amount of views as this other channel who posts once a week, but they get tons and tons and tons of views versus most videos on my channel, which, you know, some of them get a lot of views, some of them get very little views, some get kind of an average number of views. Well, the reason is because I talk about so many different things. There are people who come to my channel specifically to learn about trucks. There are people who come to my channel to hear my reviews on trucks, my reviews on towing accessories, RVs, RV floor plans, upgrades, batteries, solar systems, tractors, excavators, digging a hole, burying stuff, new trailers, utility trailers, gooseneck trailers. I have such a broad, diverse type mixture of content on my channel that you can come to my channel for all sorts of different things. And there's some people who only come to my channel to look at one type of content. And if that's the case, I might not get a lot of views on those videos, which is totally fine. And it kind of emphasizes the fact that I'm not necessarily here to grow this huge, massive channel. When I first started, I was going to be happy if I got 10,000 subscribers. I was thrilled when I got 1,000. But then when my channel started growing and growing, I realized that it's not because my channel is following some journey that I'm on. It's not because I'm trying to create content about RV parks and national parks and traveling and how we use our RV. It was because I was giving you information on things that I thought were important to the type of folks who are watching my channel. Reviews on things, my perspective on things, my technical background and knowledge on why I think things work the way they do, the industry, the things that I bring to the table that you may be able to get from other channels. I'm not going to say that my channel is like a sole source resource for this type of information, But it's a different perspective because even though, my background's engineering, the goal of my channel has never been to over-engineer descriptions and reviews of products. My goal isn't to make people leave my channel thinking, I didn't understand what he said, now I have to go search, what was he talking about? My goal was to take a very practical approach to the content I put out in a very casual, lighthearted, and simple to follow way. Because I think that's what a lot of people have enjoyed about my channel, is that I don't try to overcomplicate things. I try to make it very simple. I try to make it a little bit repetitive in terms of how I talk about things. So I might explain it one way that's easy for someone to understand, but then I'll change it a little bit and explain it another way that somebody else might find easier to understand. So that's kind of been the goal. That's been how I've produced content, and I think it's worked okay. At the end of the day, I really love the fact that I have amazing viewers and subscribers, even the ones who are critical, even the ones who come on and seemingly say negative things time and time again. It's just the fact that they're still chiming in, giving their opinion, giving their feedback, even if we disagree. I love the fact that in most cases it's all respectful disagreement. I'm not the kind of person who disagrees with someone and automatically means I hate that person or I don't like that person. Disagreement should never lead to anger and hate. It really shouldn't. It should lead to dialogue. It should lead to possibly understanding of different people's life situations and the things that they've been through and the things that make them passionate versus the things that make me passionate or you passionate. And it should ultimately lead to the understanding that no two people are the same. And we can both look at the exact same thing and come away with different ideas, concepts, and explanations for why something is the way it is. But yeah, when we talk about what my goal is after YouTube, I don't really know, to be honest with you. The reality of my YouTube channel is once I decide to walk away from this, once I decide that YouTube's no longer something I want to do, I'm not going to be hurting or struggling. It's not going to put me in any weird financial situation. What I'll probably do is I'll probably slowly shut it down over a period of time, kind of like Matt did with his channels, and maybe hand the torch off to someone else who would want to be able to grow the type of content in the same credible, ethical way that I feel like I've been doing it. But at the same time, who knows? I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this. I feel like I can do this for quite a bit longer. I feel as if, I'm maybe 20% into this journey, and I have a long way to go, and I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish during that way to improve the industry, to talk about a lot of things, to give my feedback and opinion on a lot of things that are changing, things that aren't changing. But ultimately, the goal of mine is to continue to bring you guys content that's from the heart, that's credible, that's honest, ethical, and provides information to you in an unbiased way based off of my own view of whatever I'm trying to talk about. Anyways, I'd love to know what your feedback is on this. How do you feel about the channel if you've been here for a period of time? If you've been here for years and you followed my channel over the last 7 to 8 years, how do you feel about where it's gone, where it's going? What would you like to see different? What can I do that would continue to bring you back so you're like, hey, that's the channel that I love watching? And is there a specific type of content that you like that I create versus content that I create that you perhaps don't like? I know that some people didn't care for my mountain biking and my e-biking related content, but yet some people really, really, really enjoyed that stuff. So even if I post a video tomorrow that is on, a new e-bike and it gets, 900 views over a month, the people who are viewing it reach out to me and they say, I love this review, thank you so much, it meant something to me. And that's why I don't care if a video goes viral. I don't care if a video gets, a really small amount of views. It's people who are genuinely interested in learning about the thing I'm talking about or just wanting my feedback on it. And that's important to me. So views be damned. If you guys love a certain type of content, wait a couple days, you'll probably get a video on it. If you don't want a certain type of content, skip the video and you'll probably see the content hopefully you enjoy in the next day or two. But that's kind of the way I've always been routing the type of content I produce. Anyways, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. It is sad to see Matt go. We collaborated more than a few times on some different things, including some trailers and some towing information. And I also reached out to him just to wish him best of luck, and you know, if we happen to be in his area or if he's in mine, maybe we can catch up and grab something to eat or something like that. But it's sad to see his channel shut down, but at the same time, I get it, and I see why he's moving on, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's his journey, and for him, his YouTube journey has come to a close, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's his path, and that's something that he's chosen to do. So Godspeed to him. I wish him the best. I'll be praying for him, and hopefully he is able to do all the things that he has been wanting to do post YouTube. Anyways, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.